Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Friday, April 25th. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm going to have 4 MLB home run picks for you guys to lock in for today's MLB betting slate. A little bit chalky with the 4 plays that I have, but I really like all 4, so you can only do what you like. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yes, the Dong Report is back in your life, but before we can get into today's picks, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which was not a good day overall. We did not get any of our 3 guys to hit a home run. 0 for 3 yesterday. Luckily, I only had 3, and I obviously played the unit sizing at low like I normally do, so we put a quarter unit each. We were down 0.75 units yesterday. James Wood and Andrew Vaughn didn't really even come close. Tyler Soderstrom, we're going to talk about. He did come close, but he did not hit a home run. So did not get any to cash yesterday. Did not get any to cash on Tuesday, which is dong life. So that makes me 1-9 since Tuesday. Prior to that, we were absolutely on fire. And that's just home run life for you. But luckily, we have been on fire on this entire season. If you follow my unit size guiding, we're up about 10.8 units on the year so far, which is really good. 1 month into the season, incredibly happy to be up 10 units. The most important number here is this ROI. 38.88% ROI is phenomenal. If you blanketly, and if you're a heathen and you just blanketly put 1 unit on every single home run that I gave out, didn't worry about messing with the unit size, you'd be up 44 units. Now, the reason why I don't put 1 unit on my home runs is I don't want to have a situation that we're currently in where you get 1 home run in your last 9. Now, we'd be down like 4 units in that stretch, but yesterday would have been down 3 units. Tuesday would have been down 3 units. It's just kind of tough to have those swings with your unit sizing and stuff, which is why I scale it down. But as long as you're consistent and you always put that you're consistent with your unit sizing, it honestly doesn't really matter if you do 1 unit, 10 units, or a quarter unit like I do. Regardless, that's enough about that. Let's get into today's bangers. Again, I have 4 for you guys to lock in. Used Ballpark Pal to help me find all 4 of these plays. Ballpark Pal, incredible MLB tool. I use them for home runs, but strikeouts, bases, HRR, game lines, you want to do run lines, you want to do totals, all that stuff, you can find it on Ballpark Pal. In terms of the weather today, obviously we got to start the video putting on our weatherman cap. Couple games that are issues, not couple, 5 games that have rain issues. That's why these ones highlighted pink. Just means that there's expected rain. Obviously, there's scales to it. Like this Nats game we're going to talk about, most likely going to be played. Coors Field could not be played. So you just kind of have to look into each one. But that's what the pink means. +6 in that Nats game is good. +2 in this game here. We'll have a play there. And then you kind of go down and see how things go. It's windy and cold in Chicago in Wrigley, so not a great day in that game. But my first 2 plays, and I'm going to talk about them both back to back because they're in the same game. It's Brent Rooker to hit a home run, and I took Tyler Soderstrom once again to hit a home run. I went with both of them to hit home runs. The odds on them, so Soderstrom is +375. It actually looks like it moved to 350. Check out Bet365. You should be able to get +375 at Bet365. And then Brent Rooker was actually +310 at Bet365. So if I go to the odds here, this is a better way to show you. This actually moved to 310 at Bet365, and then Soderstrom is 375. This 400. Let me refresh this just to give you guys the most up-to-date odds. Yeah, Rooker we see +310, and Soderstrom we see +375. Those are the 2 odds that I put on them. I put 0.35 units on Brent Rooker, and I put 0.3 units on Soderstrom. So I upped my unit size a little bit because the odds are a little bit lower. Anyways, enough about that. The biggest reason why I'm on 2 Athletics is because this guy is pitching for the Chicago White Sox. Now, the White Sox might have an opener pitch the first inning. That would not change my mind about either of these guys. It might be Tyler Gilbert is the guy's name. He might pitch the first inning. So if you see a different starter listed, it's going to be Sean Burke as the primary. And that's the most important thing here. And even if they don't hit one off of the starters, both guys are hot at the plate. And it's not like I'm scared of the White Sox bullpen or anything like that. But this guy specifically is not good, unfortunately, for Sean Burke. Home run per 9, 2.49 is absolutely disgusting. That is a horrific number. To give you guys context, last year, the pitcher with the worst home run per 9 was like 1.62. He's at 2.49. Barrel rate allowed If we go to a StatCast here, 17.3% is disgusting. That hard hit rate, honestly, isn't that bad. 42% isn't that bad of a hard hit rate. The problem is he's consistently allowing guys to hit the barrel of the bat. So that's obviously what this barrel rate is showing you. And then his fly ball rate, 43%, his line drive rate, 17%. So that's what? 60% line drive plus fly ball rate. That's really bad as well. And that's why you see him giving up so many home runs. Now, he's bad against both righties and lefties, so I don't really care about the righty versus lefty thing. If you look at Ballpark Pal, Brent Rooker, plus 10, extreme advantage in favor of Brent Rooker. It's an A+ matchup for him. It's an F matchup for Sean Burke. You look at Tyler Soderstrom, plus 10, extreme advantage in favor of the batter. This is according to Ballpark Pal. A+ matchup for Soderstrom, D- matchup for Sean Burke. So it's a little bit better for Brent Rooker. It's good for both. Now, looking at Brent, his hard hit rate isn't anything that's going to wow you. The thing that I like the most is his barrel rate. You look at since April 11th, he's got a barrel in every other game. Now, this game yesterday, he didn't play. He didn't start. He came in and pinch hit. So that's why you kind of see the weird stats here. The most, you really want to look at every other game. Now, the hard hits, 1, 2, 1, 2, those aren't amazing. But if he's barreling the ball up, that's the most important thing that I care about. So the one barrel, 6 barrels in this stretch, 18.8% barrel rate is really, really good. Obviously, it's a phenomenal matchup according to Ballpark Pal. The reason why, the release point is an A on both sides for Brent Rooker. The biggest thing here is the four-seam fastball. He's going to see that in the slider the majority of the time. They're not good pitches from Sean Burke, and Brent Rooker annihilates both of those pitches. So you kind of go through it, and you see exactly why it's a good matchup. Burke is 4% more likely to hit a home run, to allow a home run than the average. All that good stuff. Exit velocity, 4% more likely to allow a batter to hit the ball above 100 miles an hour. And he's also likely to allow batters to hit the ball in the sweet spot of the launch angle. Like you see, he doesn't allow them to get over the ball. So the low launch angle, that's what I'm looking for. So that's why it's such a good matchup against Sean Burke. Then as for Tyler Soderstrom, again, plus 10, extreme advantage. You could go with 4 different athletics if you wanted to. I settled on Rooker and Soderstrom, but if you want to go Langoliers and Lawrence Butler, I wouldn't blame you. My favorite one of the group is absolutely Tyler Soderstrom, though. So if you only wanted to take Brent Rooker or Tyler Soderstrom, it would be Soderstrom. You look at what he did at the plate yesterday. Double, too low of a launch angle, traveled 273 feet. Was never going to be a home run. 103.3 miles per hour off the bat. Single, 102.4 miles per hour off the bat. Again, too low of a launch angle, but that's 3 hits, including this one, above 100 miles an hour. This one was 101. It traveled 384 feet. That was just hit to dead center field. But you see here, a home run was hit at 389, and Soderstrom just needed to pull that a little bit more. But he hit the crap out of the ball, and that actually makes it 2 straight games that Soderstrom has had a long fly out. I'm going back to Wednesday here just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So he had the 384-foot flyout yesterday, hit a 376-foot double the day before. So he's been hitting the crap out of the ball the last 2 games, just hasn't quite gotten either one of them to leave the park. But he's been hitting the crap out of the ball. Obviously, he's an incredible batter, just based on how he's doing here. So Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, those are my plays 1 and 2 as far as the Dong Report goes. Play number 3, give me Francisco Lindor to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 350 odds at FanDuel. So I locked him in here. No line movement, still at plus 350. Good to go there. I put 0.3 units on this bad boy. So again, upped my unit size a little bit because of the odds were a little bit lower. Now, I'll admit for this Mets game, I was heavily debating between Lindor and Pete Alonso. So if you are one of those people that likes to spray the board, I would take both of them as opposed to just Lindor. Me, I'm a little bit more selective with my plays, so I'm sticking with Lindor. Both are good between him and Pete Alonso. The reason why I settled on Francisco Lindor, he's a little bit hotter at the plate. So we're looking at DG Analytics here, and we're looking at hits above 100 miles an hour. Francisco Lindor has 13. Pete Alonso has 12. Francisco Lindor has a little bit of a higher fly ball rate as well. So he's hitting the ball 100 miles an hour. He's putting the ball in the air. That's the last 10 games. You want to look at the last 5. Francisco Lindor is still number 1 with 7. Now, the fly ball rate has flipped a little bit, so Pete's putting the ball in the air a little bit more recently, but Lindor still leads the Mets in that. And the pitcher here, Jake Irvin, he stinks against all batters, righties and lefties. He's a little bit worse in terms of allowing home runs to lefties. You look at his home run per nine, I mean, 1.84, it's disgusting. That's a terrible home run per nine. But we go to his splits just to show you guys the difference. This might take a little bit to load. But to show you guys the difference, he is slightly worse against lefties. Now, we can stick with Lindor a little bit. He, like I said, he is red hot at the plate. We're looking at DG Analytics here. I'm just looking at guys that hit the ball hard, and I'm looking at guys that put the ball in the air. And that's exactly what Francisco Lindor has done. I mean, he had a stretch where he had 3 barrels in a 2-game stretch. His last 2 games, only 1 hard hit each. Both those were above 100 miles an hour. All right, so we're back on Jake Irving. So we're looking at his splits here. Home run per 9, all the way up to 2.16 against lefties. And you see across the board, his stats are worse against lefties. 262 average, 1.14 whip, 3.10 BABIP. Even like his other stats, on base percentage higher, slugging higher, WOBA higher. Like he's just worse against left-handed hitters. He's not good against righties, which is why Pete Alonso is also a good look. He's just worse against lefties. And then he also allows righties, doesn't really, like the fly ball rate is lower, 38% fly ball rate, 16% line drive rate. Both those numbers are higher against lefties. Now, Lindor is a switch hitter, so he's going to be batting righty and lefty. He's good on both. So I'm good with him on both. That is play number 3. And then our 4th and final pick of the video, we're going with Austin Riley to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 400 odds at Bet365 and ESPN Bet. And I put a quarter unit on him. So quarter unit there, and then the other ones were a little bit higher. So Austin Riley, I went with him on Wednesday, and he didn't come through for us, but we all remember he had a hit that would have been a home run in 29 out of 30 stadiums, just not the stadium that he was playing in. That's unfortunate. The good news is that Austin Riley has been hitting the absolute crap out of the baseball. So we're going back to DG Analytics. We're looking at the last 10 games, and we're just looking at piss missiles. A piss missile is almost a no-doubter. It's a hit that was 100 plus miles an hour off the bat, between 20 and 40 degree launch angle. It's like exactly what you're looking for someone to hit a home run. Guess who is number 1 in the MLB over the last 10 games? That would be one Austin Riley. Now, Pete Alonso is number 2. So again, I liked Lindor. Alonso is good as well. Looking at the last 5 games, guess who is number 1 in terms of piss missiles over the last 5 games? That would be one Austin Riley with 7. 9 in his last 10 games, 7 in his last 5 games. It's just insane. You look at his game log here. I mean, we see he's got an absurd 4 barrels in his last 3 games. We see he's got an absurd 6 barrels in his last 5 games. The guy is red hot at the plate, hitting the crap out of the baseball. And then again, he had a hit on Wednesday that was a home run in 29 out of 30 stadiums. That is absolutely brutal. And he's going up against Zach Gallen. Now, Gallen has the name brand of an ace pitcher because he has been really good in the past. He has not been good this year. And honestly, he had a down year last year as well. Now, he didn't give up a ton of home runs last year, but had a down year. And he's been getting hit really hard this year. Home run per 9 of 1.65. Yeah, that's not on Sean Burke. That's not on Jake Irving level. That's still really bad. As I mentioned last year, the pitcher with the worst home run per 9 of all qualified pitchers, that number was like 1.62. So this is literally league worst types of numbers. Barrel rate, a disgusting, that's not what we're looking for. Barrel rate, a disgusting 12.7%. That's terrible. Hard hit rate of 41.8% isn't that bad. The biggest difference here is that launch angle. You want to know why his hard hit rate has been roughly the same, but that barrel rate has gone up? It's because of the launch angle. He's allowing guys to hit the ball hard, but put the ball in the air. And these are really, really concerning numbers for Zach Gallen. Now, I will admit that he's a little bit worse against lefties than he is against righties. So, if you want to look at a Matt Olson, I wouldn't blame you for that. A Michael Harris, I wouldn't blame you for that. He's still bad against right-handed hitters, and Austin Riley is by far the hottest hitter on the Braves if you look at the last 5 games. So that's why I want to stick with Austin Riley. But you couldn't go wrong, like I said, with Matt Olson or anybody like that. It's not quite the plus 10 matchups that we have been looking at, but it's still a big advantage for Austin Riley. It's a plus 7 D- matchup for the pitcher, B- matchup for the batter, which is why you see it as a strong advantage in favor of the batter. From a release point, it's an A+ horizontally, but a B vertically, which is kind of why you see not quite, again, that plus 10 that we're looking for. The biggest thing here is the 4-seamer, which Gallen throws like 50% of the time. It's only graded as a C for Austin Riley, but he's historically been pretty good at hitting the 4-seam fastball. Like you look at his pitch type splits here. This is according to FanGraphs. We're looking at his ISO rate. Last year was a little bit down year for Austin Riley. This year, kind of the same thing as last year. But before that, 268, 234, 251, those are pretty good numbers for ISO rate. And he's got good numbers on a lot of pitches as well. So it's not just like he can only hit the four-seamer. We're looking at ISO rate this year. He's crushed off-speed stuff like sinkers, changeups, splitter. So if Zach Gallen doesn't trust his fastball because it hasn't been that good this year, well then Austin Riley's going to hit any of this off-speed stuff to the moon. So yeah, Austin Riley, that is play number 4. Or it says play number 3. This isn't. I'm just doing it in order of the odds. The 4th play I technically sent out was Lindor. Anyways, yeah, that's our 4th and final pick of the video. I gave out a couple leans for you guys as well. Pretty confident in the 4 plays that we have today. So I'm going to do a quick recap, then we can skedaddle on out of here. So if all 4 of our guys hit a home run, we will profit 4.26 units. And that doesn't include if you do a round robin or if you put a parlay of all 4. We are risking a little bit more today. Instead of risking a unit, we're risking 1.2 units. So going 0 for 4 today would hurt compared to what we normally do. But I'm very, very confident in the guys that we have. Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, Francisco Lindor, and Austin Riley to hit home runs. I mentioned Pete Alonso as a lean. I mentioned Matt Olson as a lean. And then Shea Langeliers and Lawrence Butler are also good in this White Sox versus Athletics game. In terms of real quick other leans that I have for you guys, Ben Rice has a good matchup against Jose Barrios. Pitch mix isn't quite what you look for, but Jose Barrios is a dong guy, and Ben Rice has been hot at the plate. I also looked at James Wood. I debated going back to James Wood, but he didn't have a single hit yesterday that was above 100 miles an hour. And he's going up against Senga, who's a pretty good pitcher. Like that ghost fork can be pretty tough. So that's why I decided to not officially go with James Wood and just the 4 guys that we went with. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Ballpark Pal if you want to look at the best MLB tool on the market. I put a link to them. I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I put a link to them in the description of the video as well as the pinned comment. And then this account that I've been kind of scrolling through, this is my Tails account. This is where I send all of my plays out. So whatever I'm putting out on YouTube for free, I first send it out to Tails just as a way for people to lock stuff in early before the lines move. Or if they just don't always want to watch the YouTube videos, but they still want to tail, that's what this is for. So check out that stuff if you're interested. Everybody make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.